Okay, good morning everyone. I'm Alan Barrett, CEO of AFRINIC, and I'm here to tell you a little bit about what AFRINIC has been up to recently. If I can make this work. Oh, yes. Okay, so our membership has been growing. We're now up to, as of the end of 2015, almost 1,300 members. 148 new members during 2015. Last year, 2015, we allocated almost exactly 1/8's worth of IPv4, and that's the highest we've ever allocated. We also allocated quite a lot of IPv6, about 4,400/32 equivalents. That was actually a few larger blocks, a /20, a /23 or something. And a lot of /32s, so it adds up to the equivalent of about 4,400/32s, mostly for ISPs, so LIRs, and 27/48s, which went to end users. That's also the highest V6 allocation that we've ever had. Also last year in 2015, we allocated 159 AS numbers. We use an undifferentiated pool of 2-byte and 4-byte, and most applicants get a 4-byte ASN, but if they can show that that doesn't work for them, then we are able to allocate a 2-byte ASN. So right now, as of yesterday or the day before, we had 1,290 members. Between them, they held almost 5/8 of V4 space. That's like 83.3 million V4 addresses. More than 9,000/32 equivalents of V6 space. We also have quite a lot of legacy space holders in our region. We know of 351 organizations in our region who are not members, but who hold legacy space. And between them, they hold about 8 million V4 addresses. That's about half of a /8. We still have 1.7/8 of V4 in our inventory. So we're the only RIR which is still able to allocate V4 space according to our traditional policies. We have a soft landing policy in place, which I'll speak about in a minute or two. We're encouraging V6 deployment. We offer training on V6, free training. We ask the hosts to provide the facilities, but we provide the trainers. It's on-site, hands-on training. We do not have any online training courses. We have an IPv6 test bed where people can, in a closed environment, they can play with configuring V6 on various virtual machines and see how that works. Also regarding V4 exhaustion, one of the policies under discussion is about use of V4 space outside the region. We also have a policy proposal on the table for transfers, and we have 2 policies on the table for changing our soft landing proposal. So the out-of-region policy, right now the situation around use of AFRINIC IP address space outside our region is a little unclear. The policies are mostly silent on what happens if you're an organization in Africa and you get space from AFRINIC, but then you expand somewhere else and you want to use your space. The policies are silent about that, and so in practice, we allow people to use their space anywhere, provided they have a base in Africa. But there is this policy under discussion which will change that rule, and I can't remember the number. I think it talks about 20% usage outside the region. But this is quite contentious, partly because it's difficult to define how out-of-region use works. Suon, yes, can you clarify?
Yeah, thank you. I just like to quickly mention that. What's wrong with my voice? Sorry. This is Sean, co-chair of AFRINIC Policy Development Working Group. I just like to mention that this particular policy has been withdrawn, so the status has changed. It's currently withdrawn. Thank you.
Oops, I'm sorry. Okay, so I have out-of-date information here. So it was quite contentious, and the author withdrew it after seeing opposition. Okay, there's a transfer policy under discussion. The draft would allow inter-regional transfers as well as intra-regional transfers. It would be needs-based. The recipient of the transfer would have to, if the recipient is in the AFRINIC region, they'd have to comply with AFRINIC policies. If the recipient is in some other region, they'd have to comply with their own region's policies. There's a cooling off period where you can't flip space very quickly. Again, this is quite a contentious policy proposal. There's a strong part of the community which feels that it would not be to the benefit of AFRINIC right now to allow inter-regional transfers, because many people see this as allowing people from other regions to deplete AFRINIC's stock of IP addresses. So formally it's under discussion, but there's quite a lot of controversy about it. We have two policy proposals on the table to change our soft landing policy. But before I talk about them, let me say what the current policy is. The current soft landing policy is that once we get down to 1/8, when we start allocation from our last /8, then the maximum allocation or assignment will be a /10. Okay, so currently there's no real maximum. If you could justify a /8, then you could get a /8. But the soft landing proposal says once there's only one more /8 left in the inventory, then you cannot get more than a /10. And that will continue until a second phase, when there's only one /10 remaining in the inventory, then the maximum will become a /22. So that's the current status. Yes, Vint.
It's been served. I'm looking at the chart, and what the chart says is different from what you just said, I think. It says in phase 1, when you're down to the last /8, the maximum allocation is /13 and not a /10. And you said a /10, so I'm confused.
Yes, I believe I can clarify that. The slide is talking about the proposal which is on the table, but what I've been speaking about is the current policy which is not on the slide. Okay, so the current policy is in phase 1 you can get a /10. The proposal on the table wants to change that so that in phase 1 the maximum you can get is a /13. Okay, so that's one of the two policy updates on the table. The other one wants to say run at maximum speed until there's only one /13 left. And then when there's only a /13 left, the rules change that it's available only to new entrants. So people who already have space cannot come back to get more, but new entrants who have nothing will be able to get up to a /22. Okay, so two competing proposals on the table for changing the soft landing policy. They're both under discussion. Okay, we have a new IPv6 certification platform. We've developed an online testing framework. We have 520 questions about IPv6 related topics. It covers all 6 levels of Bloom's taxonomy, which I'd never heard of until recently, which is about knowledge, comprehension, application, analysis, synthesis, and evaluation. So if you pass this test, then you can do all 6 of those things regarding IPv6. Our test is certified by the IPv6 Forum. So the current status is we have the testing framework, we have many questions. Our test is certified by the IPv6 Forum, but we've not actually issued any certificates yet. We're now looking for partners who can help us deliver the exam. We feel that for the maximum benefit, the exam should be done in an invigilated environment, so that we can have some trusted organization like a NOG or an ISOC chapter or a training institution who will hold a session in a room with an invigilator to see that there's no cheating, but the test itself will be online, and the end result will be that AFRINIC will give you this certificate, and our certificate is ratified by the IPv6 Forum. Okay. I thought I had a slide on training that seems to have disappeared. Okay. Let me talk about it. We do training on IPv6 and on how to interact with the registry, how to become a member, how to fill in the forms, how to do an addressing plan. We hold several of these training courses around Africa. Every year we call for proposals for people who want to host a training session, and we're fully booked for this year, but towards the end of the year we'll be putting out another call for potential hosts. Okay, and finally we hold 2 meetings a year, like most of the other RIRs. Our next meeting is the 7th to the 10th of June in Gaborone, Botswana. So please join us for that, for the Africa Internet Summit and the AFRINIC 24 meeting. It actually runs over 2 weeks, from the 29th of May to the 10th of June. The first week is for training and workshops, and the second week is the conference itself. Okay, so if you want to attend from the 7th to the 10th of June, that would be great. Unless you're part of the training or workshops, of course. Then our other meeting this year will be in November in Mauritius, the 25th to the 30th of November. That's about 8 days, I think. And again, the first 4 days of that will be training, workshops, and such. And the last 3 days will be the main part of the meeting. So if you can only come from the 28th to the 30th, that's fine. But if you can come for the whole time, that's also okay. Right. Thank you. Any questions?
Any questions for Alan? Okay, excellent job.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.